What's going on, YouTube family? It's your boy Big Magwood coming at you. You can catch me on Facebook and IG. The link is in the description at Chevy Kings _Chevy Kings_ with a Z. And on Facebook, you'll see the little moniker on the page or whatever. It's a group with very informed individuals. You know, for if you got any questions or like to joke around about these cars and stuff like that. It's a pretty laid back group. Okay, today's topic is broke and horsepower does not mix. It's like oil and water, okay? And the reason why I'm saying that is I know a lot of people say, well, I can get a motor out this place and I can make this 1,000 horsepower. In your mind, you may feel like you're moving fast until you get by somebody that's really fast and really put the money in to make something scoot. Horsepower is a very finicky game. It's a money game. If one rule of horsepower is horsepower breaks stuff. It breaks things, chassis parts, front end issues, bushings, transmissions, rear ends, and all that stuff. So you got to really watch yourself when you talk about horsepower. And I'm not talking about, your average 350, 400 is like respectable, but I'm not talking about that kind of horsepower. I'm talking about the 650s and up, the 1,000 HP. I know everybody they want to hit that marker to 1,000 horsepower, which in the street is kind of like, it's cool. I mean, you probably will never use it. You're gonna break them tires out every time. But it's still cool nonetheless to have it. But that don't come without a cost. It does not come without a cost. You just can't magically fashion up 1,000 horsepower. You got heads, you got the whole, well, let's start from the bottom to the top. The crank rods and pistons foremost to really support 1,000 horsepower. With a conventional motor, you're gonna have to bring your wallet. Now LS, you can get away with it, but you have to do some modifications. You're gonna have to set them rings a little bit. You have to take the motor apart. I know a lot of people like to say the junkyard dog, but with the GM stuff, the rod bolts is the weak spot. So you have to take and get some stiffer stuff down there to hold it together. ARP or something like that, and stud the heads, because if naturally aspirated, which is like nothing, just a straight motor, you're not gonna get that out that LS like that. It's unless you start getting into a big block, down you're going into something. But to even get in the talks of making 1,000 horsepower big block, you talking about some cash. You talking about some real money. You're not talking about, I'm going to do this for $4,000, $5,000. I mean, to make 1,000 horsepower a big block, the heads alone will be $1,000 or $5,000. So we talking about like a real big heavy motor. I think the quickest thing to get to 1,000 horsepower these days is like, you go on YouTube and just see LS swaps, turbos, twin turbo LSs, and they hold up, junkyard dogs and stuff like that. They'll work, but I mean, if you want longevity out this motor, take it apart and put you some good rod bolts and stuff like that, and stud that, and put some studs on that head, and man, you could really hold that motor together longer. But all that stuff costs money. It costs money because you say most LSs come with a 4L60, okay? You think you're gonna get away with that stock when you're not gonna get away with that stock transmission. That transmission gonna need some work to hold that pressure. So here we go, we're coming down the money lane. You're not gonna be able to put together a junkyard transmission that's gonna hold that. No, horsepower just eats that up. I remember I did a swap, and we did a little light stuff to a 60. It didn't like it. That horsepower there, I think it was like 580 horses. It didn't like it. It tore up. It didn't last long. It got me some fun, but I knew we were going to let go, So to my experience, to do the overdrive, to hold that power, even like 580, I mean, in an overdrive in an overdrive 4L60, you talking about every bit of high $2,000, $3,000, So that's not your average $700, $400, $350 bill transmission, So you talking about money. You talking about money when you get into that horsepower range. I would say, horsepower very destructive. It's like you could put everything together and you might get a couple miles out of it, and then the cam messed up something because you putting pressure on something. See, and pressure, if it's a weak spot anywhere in that pressure, it's gonna find it. And sometimes you just have your hiccups and issues, all to dropping valves and stuff like that. You got the parts industry can fail you, because you building stuff that not coming from the factory. So you have to have a trusted, I'll stop saying, you got to have a trusted parts person to buy your stuff from. Because if you look at it on the internet, you can say, well, this cam kit is cheap, this is that, but you don't know who's making that stuff. And that's where horsepower start getting finicky from, because the inferior parts is what really brings down the reliability. And that's where the double spending start coming from. That's where you start bumping your heads on these bills. So it's like you go with a trusted individual, a company that's really know their parts, and not like, I hate to say this, but going over to China and buying something with somebody just cranking out some stuff to make production, where somebody's like really sitting there and taking their time and putting this thing together so you can have something that can hold up. Roller, like I've seen wheels on the roller cams fall off and stuff like that from just, inferior, trying to save $1, cut a corner here or there, and then you double spend it. Now you done messed everything up, so you gotta spin it over again. So horsepower is most definitely a cat and mouse game. And when you go up into levels, you start having more and more issues. Fuel delivery, the systems to manage that. Even a carbureted engine that can support 1,000 horsepower. I mean, you're not gonna if you go dual carbs, they'll probably be what, $500, $600. You got $1,200 tied up in dual carburetors. If you got one, I mean, you talk about the sky's the limit. That single unit alone would be $1,200, $1,300. So you got to understand now, horsepower is a money game. It's not like you can't fool horsepower, because it'll laugh at your attempts. You can say, well, I'm gonna cut this or cut that, and it's gonna ride. Or I don't have to do that, I can just put nitrous on it. And okay, yeah, you'll be fast, but for how long? How long? You're gonna be fast for, you might even not get a couple of races in, then you gotta tear it all down and spend more money. Where you could have did it the right way the first time. So horsepower is not a cut corner situation. It's gonna show. It's gonna show. Just if you look at horsepower, and just the aspect of knowing what exactly you're gonna do with this thing, because sometimes I think you can overbuild trying to just have something that's, I have 1,000 horsepower, but your internals can't handle that, turning that motor up that high. So I mean, like, are you really getting all the benefits of that motor? So you have to ask yourself and be real with yourself about what are you going to do with this vehicle. And now sometimes sky's the limit. If you got enough money to do 2,000 horsepower, man, God bless you, do your thing. But on this page here, we always talk about just being realistic and being understanding that, money don't grow on trees. So you say, if I want horsepower, I would say anything, a 500 horsepower motor in the street, you're gonna be, I'm telling, you're gonna run out of road before you can really, really enjoy that. And especially in confined spaces, you're not gonna really be able to enjoy that. Now, country guy, you know, when he got miles and miles of road, man, do your thing. You can let that sucker go. But in the city, and I think most of the guys that I talk to, we are like, you know, confined in this metropolis. So, you know, street light to street light, you gotta understand, high horsepower vehicles normally take a lot of RPMs. So if you got 1,000 horsepower, it may come in high on the band. So when you look at that curve coming, when it gets to the top of that power curve, that's where your 1,000 at. But it's at 6,000 RPMs. Who gonna ride at 6,000 RPMs? You can't ride that all day. So you gotta understand, when you're in the street, most of the time you in that power band from 3,000 to 5,000. So if you could just even crank out 500 in that window, oh, you're doing pretty good, man. You're gonna have a real responsive motor, you know, and then you gotta look at your components. 500 horsepower, you can't play around with the transmission and the rear and stuff, but once you overbuild it, I like to overbuild. If you can overbuild that thing, you're gonna be fine. But yeah, man, that's my spiel, man, on horsepower. It's a money game. It's a money game. It's not about you know, you can't do a horsepower vehicle and just say, hey, I'm gonna put this thing together and I'll never have to up the hood. Horsepower, it's like a lady, it's like a needy woman. She gonna need your attention. So look, man, that's it. That's it. Man, you know, how do you eat the elephant? You eat the elephant one bite at a time, man. You can relate that to life. I relate that to myself all the time, you know, every day, just taking a chunk out of life, taking a chunk out of these cars or whatever it is I'm doing. But that's my spiel, man. You know, y'all have a good one. Y'all be easy. Enjoy these vehicles. It's going to get warm soon, and I can't wait. I told everybody I'm going to turn jet black in this thing here. And I'm going to tell you, watch me. I'm going to be black, and then I'm going to have the sunglass tan right here this year. Yes, sir. So, you know, but hey, man, y'all be easy. Y'all be easy. Have a good one.